going on, world? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Micah. For those of you that are new, we're going to be speaking on the Virgos. We're going to be doing a deck of 12. Let's begin. Spirit, what do we have for the Virgos? Alright, we have gifts. So Spirit probably wants you guys to focus on your gifts, right? Seek in within yourself what the gifts could be. You could just randomly have a thought and then try something like maybe a sport or a talent, maybe like art, anything of the sort, right? Pretty much all things is a gift. Pretty much anything that doesn't affect anybody in a negative light, then pretty much, yeah, it's a gift, I feel like, you know, especially if you're productive with it and, you know, you're consistent and persistent and then you know, make something out of it, then try to focus on your gifts. Alright, what else do we have for the Virgos? We have Dragon Rider, so you guys can be on a journey, right? You guys can be on a journey, maybe above the clouds, maybe just kind of just riding the wave, whatever that might be for you guys, right? You guys might have this moments in life where it seems rocky at first, sometimes it's smooth, you know, kind of like any ride, whether it's car, plane, and pretty much any type of ride you be go on, whether it's through transportation or even through life, it's always going to have those bumpy moments. Sometimes they're smooth, so maybe you guys are learning to just ride it out and just see what happens. All right. What else we're getting on with the Virgos? This message is for them. We have Osin, right? This could be kind of like a glow even through your darkest moments, I feel like. Now I'm just resonating what I try to interpret with the card at the moment. So looking at it and the vibe I'm getting, I feel like you guys are going to be glowing through some of your more shady areas, meaning like, and not shady in like a creepy way, but more of a shady as in you're kind of light. You're like, you got a little light in you, but you're still in a dark time, you know? It's like you're still fighting through it. You know how people, like, they're at this point where they're willing to just, you know, work through it. You know, you're at that point. You're possibly at that point. You're at the point where you might not 100% enjoy what you do right now, but you're willing to work through it to hold things down until you get to where you need to go. You know, you're in that type of energy. And that's one of the best energies. Not the best energies, but it's better than, you know, kind of just succumbing to whatever it is that you're challenging. I feel like it's way better to work through it than, of course, to just allow it to take you over. So you guys are having this glow regardless of the situation. Probably even thinking optimistic thoughts even. You know, even facing the challenges that you're in. Right, we have Air Chalice. So this could be like blessings coming down for you guys. Kind of like even having an overflow, like even through situations. And it's funny because like this is like in the clouds, and you know the second card that came out for you guys was like a Dragon Rider. So even when it comes down to your gifts, you guys might be, you know, going on this journey with your gifts, which can lead to sometimes having dark times at times, but you guys are able to like still share your glow and still be able to be consistent with it, which is potentially going to bring new blessings and endeavors with this gift that you're going to be pursuing. Most people want to pursue their gifts, but I feel like it's challenging, especially if we, you know, think, especially if we start to think of the future, like what happens if this happens and would I be able to pay my bills? So, you know, yes, you got to use your practical world, like the practical things that you know, but at the same time, there's an opportunity there. Just try your best to see if you can, you know, make it happen. And when that situation comes where it almost feels like you can't keep up on it, just keep in mind of why you made that decision. Like what's the ultimate goal for you? We have companions, and this is coming on the gifts. So possibly your companions or anybody that you have company with. It could be relations, it could be relationships, it could be friends, it could be family, anything of that sort. May or may not, well, let's just put it like this. Your companions might even reflect on your gifts, right? They might help you seek your gifts, or you might get, like, okay, let's say you have a family member or a friend or any type of person you associate with, and maybe if they're known for not supporting you, maybe they don't support your gifts or whatever you guys decide. And that could be potentially a sign for you to possibly pursue. Like if somebody's known for that, you know what I mean? And this is a gift that you're trying out, and you know, you're either getting support or you're not getting support. It all depends on your situation. But either your friends or your companions could be somebody you consider someone you hang around. Could be either a sign for you to pursue these dreams and these desires and these journeys or your gifts, or it could be someone that helps you and assists you, right? I think I said that right. Someone that helps you, assist you with your gifts, or it could be somebody that kind of frowns upon them, which kind of gives you a red flag, like not a red flag, a green light that hey, it's time that I try this. We have Earth Chalice, right? So through times, and this is falling on the Dragon Rider card. So I feel like through times when you're on this journey, you might feel like your bills half empty. It's important to try to be optimistic through this time, to look at it like half full, because even though this is nothing in there, notice that there's a forest around, right? So notice how a forest could provide shelter, forest could provide food sources. So you might not have the specific blessings that you desire, like maybe a house, a car, whatever the case is, marriage, I don't know, whatever desires that you have, that you would wish to collect in your life, maybe even materials from this gift that you're pursuing. You might not have that in your bill or your cup or whatever, however you guys decide to look at it, but you could still have other abundance within the area. So being optimistic through these times, looking at things from different point of views, seeing what's in your area versus seeing what you don't have. You know what I'm saying? We have fear, right? So this is coming under the one we was talking about earlier, where there's a situation where you're in these moments, but you're kind of still trying to have that light. This is because fear could be potentially trying to take over you. Like I said, when you guys, this is all coming after the Dragon Rider card. So you guys could be on this journey. And listen, I read it differently. I understand that. So, you might not hear the same slogans and logos, and not logos, but slogans and slangs from like other tarot readers. So I'm going to talk how I kind of just normally would talk to you if you was right here in my face. So let's just say from my perspective, let's just say you're in a situation, you're in an energy, whether it's working at wherever you work or whatever the case is, you're trying to chase this gift or whatever, and you're in this energy where you're still showing up, you still got a lot of ambition, a lot of light, but this fear of it not working, it kind of creates that dark light around you guys, like a shadow almost, right? Where a shadow is it's very light, it's not as dark, but it's not, it's not as sunny either. So it's like a dark or like a light shadow, where it's like in the back of your head every day, like, oh, what if this happens, if I can't pay bills or whatever, because you're guaranteed right now, but then it's like, okay, if you decide to chase what you really want to do, you will have fear. And this is important, why these lights is around you, I feel like, to remind you to focus on the brighter side of things. Don't just focus mainly, if you're gonna listen, if you want to acknowledge the fact that, okay, you might lose certain situations, you might go without a few things for some time. If you're gonna focus on that, the bare minimum, at least focus on the lighter things as well. You know what I mean? To kind of balance out the energy. I feel like this is a balance out energy type of phase. Like, okay, you're gonna do these fearful moments, you're thinking about these things, but it's important to focus on what's at the top. What's at the top. Focus on what's at the top, not what's at the bottom. The bottom is there. That's not where you want to be at. The top is the light. You want to focus on the top. Hopefully this makes sense. I feel like it's resonating, right? Let me know in the comment section. I feel like it's resonating. I feel like I'm onto something with these cards here. I feel like it's hitting where I need to express to. We have nutrition, right? So learn to focus on those nutrition things, nutrition habits. You can eat whatever you want to eat. I'm not a health coach. I'm not registered to be a health coach, nor do I claim to be. Eat what you want to eat. I would just say moderate it. You know what I mean? That's all I would say. Just be practical about it. Just see how much things. But nutrition is all different aspects. It's health. It's monetary, because you gotta be cautious on how you spend. That's a way of nutrition, because it affects the mind. Like, especially if you're not putting aside savings and stuff like that, then things happen, and so I would say that's a part of it too, because that's a part of society. Now I would say strip all of that, but at the end of the day, you have to live with that right now. So I wouldn't say strip away money, because it's still a factor in your life. You have the money part about it. You have and now let's go into the deeper essence. You have the spiritual side, which is how you feel. You have, your mental, right? So make sure you guys are, reading books or whatever the case is. Do anything that's going to improve your mental state. You don't have to always read. You don't have to always do. But I will say that whatever language that you currently speak all the time, I would say try to up your vocabulary, or make sure that you guys are on top of that, or the best way you can, because the more you do it, the better you become, and you're able to kind of correlate your words a little bit, and be able to speak to people certain ways and know how to turn down your stuff and turn up your, you're just doing things in your daily habits that can benefit you. That's all, right? Focus on that nutrition side, or focus on being more of nutrition on the nutrition side, or on the greenery side, really, right? This can also potentially help your path. Like, there's been times where, like, okay, yesterday I was having fearful moments with this YouTube thing and all that, but then it's like, okay, I'm gonna focus on the lighter side of things. The brighter side is, hey, I'm helping people. That's the main thing. Because I want to focus on my path. What is my path? My path is to help people. Cool. Now, what the thing about all of this is, like, the thing why I said all this is because if we neglect this is what I'm saying. This with the nutrition card, I have situations where I could post another video at like 6 a.m. but that's normally the time that I go train, right? So if I do that, then I'm neglecting my nutrition side of things. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta still focus on my path. I've already designed a lifestyle routine and stuff, and I'm gonna stick to it regardless on if it takes longer or whatever the case is. When I say longer, I'm talking about overall. Like, overall, I wanna make sure that it's hidden where it needs to hit. Like, it's hitting these certain people. If I post more videos, then it's like, okay, more people, that's great, I'm getting more attraction, but then I'm neglecting myself, and I'm not providing myself nutrition. So then that'll be hypocritical for me to come on and tell you guys to focus on yourselves and build yourselves up, and I'm turning myself down, trying to, you know what I'm saying, trying to show what I'm capable of, and so I'm not neglecting my nutrition. I'm going to stick to the path, and I just give y'all that information. I know it has nothing to do with the reading, but just in case y'all want to know her like personal information from me, like personally, I'm trying to practice what I preach, almost, right? Trying to practice what I preach. So I'm trying to display that for you guys. Like, I'm not really trying to, just make videos. What I mean, like I said, it is what it is. We have Avalon. So this is like a spirit dragon, right? Notice how, like, this is like purity as well. Like, one thing about pureness, if your intentions are good, you're always going to overcome any boundaries, any type of situation. Doesn't really matter if you have pure intentions, because the ones that have pure intentions, you typically want it that bad where you're just going to keep going. You're just going to be persistent, and you know why you want it. You know why you're doing it. You have a reason. You have a purpose behind it. You have principles and morals and stuff like that. So you tend to override a lot of the, I ain't going to say other people, because I'm not trying to compare y'all to nobody, but you tend to override any situation that try to get thrown upon you. Like they say, no weapon against you shall prosper, things like that. So just purity. With your gifts, make sure that you guys are being pure with them. Like, they don't have to necessarily, I wouldn't even say focus on helping humanity, but at least as long as they're not destructive, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, sometimes your gift could be playing pool, you know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be like curing world hunger or nothing like that. It can just be something that you enjoy and is not affecting anybody in a negative way. But for the things that affect negative people in negative ways, then yes, it's not acting out of pureness, right? Because why? That's greed. Why come up just to turn people down? Why turn people up just to come up? We have Merlin. So this also was a spiritual animal. And when it comes down to it, I feel like, me personally, I feel like we all got our spiritual, like, birds and stuff like that. Or I say birds because that's the first thing that came to mind. I remember I was running and I used to always just see these red birds. I spoke on this like the other video the other day. But you can just have someone on your side, like some type of spiritual animal or some type of spiritual soul or being that's working with you guys, right? And there are other situations where there's a lot more, and as years go on, I'm pretty patient with this stuff. So as years go on, I will have a lot more things to say about that specific card. But at the moment, that's what I'm drawing to say. So I just kind of keep it like that. I try to keep it as natural as possible, as if you're here right in front of me. So yeah, because I realize I really can't cut and edit if you was right here in front of me. So I do a little editing or whatever, like as far as like my shorts go, I speed it up and stuff. But right now, I just, whatever I say, it comes out. Then however it comes out, right? We have independence. Now, independence could come with a lot of as you see, a lot of situations going on here, like hectic. Like I know a lot of people, they want to be independent with maybe their apartment. I'm just speaking practical. The apartment, the car, all that stuff. That's what people typically want to be independent about. Being independent does take some type of, how can I put this to where it doesn't sound like, I don't want to sound a certain way when I say this, but it can cause some type of sacrifice almost, if that makes sense to you guys. Meaning not in like a demonic way, but just on some basic less TV time, a little bit more working. You know what I mean? It's just something like that. It's like you got to give up something to receive something else. You might have to do a couple more hours, or you might have to work some more hours to save up some money to get you an apartment. Because you know how like apartments, they typically have like the what's them things called? You get in, you gotta go and do the first deposit, all of that stuff. So you might have to work a little hard or whatever the case is, but it's all for independence. You know what I'm saying? All right. We have death. Before you guys click off, death is not literal in this term. Death is about giving up things so you can renew a better you, right? It's just letting go of those things. Like they say, put a nail in the coffin type of thing. It's just dying, ways that are dying off so you guys can better yourselves, right? So for the Virgos, you guys experience gifts throughout this ride or throughout this journey. You're gonna experience having optimistic thoughts to get you through those through your darkest times. You guys are understanding blessings are gonna come through as you guys probably notify or understand your companies that you guys are keeping. You guys are also learning to look at the things half full instead of half empty. So look at things that you have versus things that you don't have. Throughout fearful moments, make sure you guys are focused on those positive thoughts. If you guys are going to focus on those fearful moments, at least balance out the energy. You guys are learning to focus on your nutrition. So anything that's going to pertain to bettering you, you guys are understanding that being pure is going to help you guys more so deliver your gifts to the world or to your surroundings. You guys also having spirit teams or spirit situations going on, like with animals and things like that. You guys are learning that independence might take a little bit of sacrificing for like more or less TV and a little bit more work and stuff like that. You guys are also experiencing, the death card came off for you guys for this situation of renewing or getting kind of just letting go of those old habits so that you can be a better individual. If this makes sense, let me know. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. It's all good. Please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was the Virgos, and I'll see you guys on the next video. See y'all soon.